Zach, let me tell you something. When I start to ask myself, Fatima, what the hell are you doing? That's when I come to my senses.
What's that even mean? Does that got anything to do with me?
Zach, the guy on the elevator today, he was just trying to be nice.
Please don't bring up that joker.
Why? Huh? Because he hemmed you up?
All right, Zatima fans. Well, if you watched my reviews first, or if you read my tweets early Thursday morning when I was watching the episodes around like 2 a.m. on Amazon Prime, you know that I was not a big fan of the way Zach and Fatima were portrayed in this episode, or in these episodes. And when we got to the scene of Zatima in bed in episode 6, we got some of the worst of season 5 Fatima rearing her head in this episode. Yes, her head was shielded by that bonnet, but at the same time, it was the worst Fatima persona coming to light. Not only are we back to the insecurities and basically the hypocritical nature of defending Paul while chastising Zach, it's just one of those things where I don't even know why they're still together. I mean, we went from rooting for this couple, looking at from where they first started to the growth they went through. Yeah, obstacles along the way, but you could tell they really had each other's back and they can overcome any obstacle. But it's at a point now where I'm really like, why are we still cheering for these two? Because of the fact that, yet again, we have Fatima listing out all of Zach's wrongdoings and even going so far as to demand and expect an apology. Yet, look, it's different continuities, it's different timelines, it's different shows. The events of Sisters have no impact on Zatima. Yeah, no, it does. It's just one of those things where I'm confused just like the rest of you, but we can't keep saying they're different continuities when moments in Zatima they will reference Sisters, and then Sisters they'll reference Zatima. It's the same damn timeline. I'm going based off of what Zach said, or DeVal said. Think of Zatima as a show where we see Zach and Fatima when they're not on screen in Sisters. Enough said. Even though I think it is pretty clear that in terms of the same timeline, Sisters is ahead of where Zatima is now. But long story short, more to the point. Here we have Fatima, and in some ways rightfully calling out Zach for the way he handled things in the elevator. But at the same time, it's like that's no different than you and Deja. You know, like you tossing her groceries against the side of the house. That was uncalled for. And then, you know, pulling her out of the pool and beating her. Okay. But then you look at the Zach situation where he's rightfully calling her out in terms of not taking accountability. It's like, you're not ready for a relationship, Zach. You're going through too much, you know, because ever since you went to see your mom, you've been angry and whatnot. And then she pulls her usual card of, tomorrow I'm calling the movers to get my stuff out of here. And I'm just thinking to myself, but aren't we going to address any elephants in the room in regards to, well, your mom just popped up out of nowhere and you haven't told her about me. I mean, this was kind of addressed in episode 2, I think, but we really didn't go anywhere with it. And now, you know, we have a situation where, okay, first, you don't want to have sex with me. You know, that's a thing that's really impacting me. You keep saying that, you know, oh, go back to Deja's, go back to Deja's, when A, you know, I didn't do anything with her. B, you know, if you did think I did something with her, if you really believed I did something, you would be shooting up the place right now. No, I wouldn't. And it's like, Fatima, are you serious right now? And then, of course, you know, she just keeps going on about Zach and, you know, oh, you're not emotionally stable. You're not ready for a relationship. You know, you're this, that, and the third. But Zach rightfully calls her out about her lack of accountability. You know, the fact that, well, what about you? You know, I saw you a picture with some dude and then I see you getting dropped off by some guy I don't even know. So, you know, you act like you ain't doing foul too, Fatima, but she doesn't want to hear it. Every time that he makes a good point, she either cuts him off. And I mean, at one point, don't raise your voice at me. I got to admit, this was like the first time I think Zach got loud with her before he got loud with she got loud at him. But still, that's besides the point. It's the fact that Fatima just always resorts to the "I'm leaving." And he rightfully says, "Oh, there you go, running again." I'm not running, Zach. You know what? When I process things and I start to think to myself, "Fatima, what are you doing?" That's when I start to see shit clearly. Okay, what are you going to do with that, Fatima? What does she do? She decides to run. And it's kind of funny because if the shoe was on the other foot, and this is Karen's situation where Zach isn't the one who pays bills and whatnot, yet he's crashing on the couch or something like that, Fatima would have kicked him. If Zach didn't have his own place and he was still staying at Fatima's, Fatima would have kicked him out, every time Fatima kept saying, "I'm going to move out," she would have kicked Zach out. And it would have been exactly like the Karen scenario. Oh, matter of fact, this is the same situation. The only difference is this is Zach's place, so he ain't got to leave nowhere. It's Fatima who's always saying, "Well, I'm moving out because my feelings are hurt. I'm moving out because I'm unsure of this. I'm moving out because you hurt my feelings or you made me think about my ex." And yet she never does. I mean, at this point, it's like, Fatima, if you want to leave, the door is open. I mean, I think Zach even said that in season 5 when they got into that shouting match after the steam plant fight. I mean, Fatima just constantly does the same shit. She will have an argument with Zach, and then she will talk with somebody about it, whether it be Angela or Andy, whoever. She will have a open, vulnerable conversation with them and then go back to Zach for some more bullshit, as opposed to having the honest, vulnerable conversations with him that she used to have with him in seasons 3 and 4, Sisters. What happened to that, Fatima? So here we go with her, with the whole therapist thing, and Angela, for some strange reason, is giving sound advice. Fatima, don't do it, because if Zach finds out that you got that reference for Dr. Reed from Paul, it's going to blow up in your face, but she decides to do it anyway. Now, from there, we have her, mad because she hears Zach groaning and then assumes it's another woman. But Fatima, you said you were leaving. What does it matter? So she goes up there and it's him with the sex toy, or side chick. But I just really am sick of the same damn thing between Zach and Fatima. Mine is, I don't give a crap about the bonnet or the nightgown. I thought Fatima looked beautiful regardless. So I'm not going to bonnet shame, or I'm not going to, nightgown shame, or moo-moo, wherever you call it. I'm not shaming her for that. I'm just shaming her for her damn attitude in the way that she just constantly feels like, okay, well, because I don't like the fact that we're not talking to each other, and you acted up today and don't want to talk about it, I'm mad, so I'm going to leave. It's just tiring. At this point, it's like, if you want to stay, then let's work this shit out. But, she got in her feelings. She even told Angela, "I didn't like the fact that he didn't believe me when nothing really happened with Paul." Well, what about in Sisters when Zach was pleading with you to believe that nothing happened with Karen, that he, initiated anything with Karen, yet you didn't believe him? And this man, got into the fight. Then you find out from Karen herself, she was the one that hugged and kissed him. You never apologized to him. Fatima was on that bullshit. And yeah, I did a separate video about Zach being on his own bullshit with the whole constantly going over to Deja's place that night. So I just feel like Fatima is full of it. And this back and forth arguing is just ridiculous. It's like I said before, Sister season 5 has truly ruined the viewing experience of Zatima season 2, because we're seeing a lot of the same senseless drama between the two that doesn't feel like it's deserved. It feels like Tyler had to assassinate Fatima's character in order to create this friction, which makes no sense whatsoever, because we know Zach is smarter than going over to Deja's house 3 times in the same night, knowing she's trying to seduce him. And Fatima should know better than to start these pointless arguments and constantly run away. I mean, how do you not call it running away? Seriously, what do you call it? And then the thing is, oh, I'm leaving. But then the next day, after you've cooled off because you talk with somebody else, you just act all passive with Zach and want him to apologize. I'm so glad we didn't get a scene where, because Zach woke up and he's like, you know what, I'm not calling her. I'm so glad we didn't get a scenario where he's being all apologetic. Oh, I'm sorry about last night. No. He doesn't need to be sorry for anything. They both need to sit down and have a conversation like adults about what's going on. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I really didn't care for the bedroom scene between Zach and Fatima. At this point, they really need to break up. That's just my opinion. So let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next video.